hold of all these new drivers, new shafts, new adapters, new everything, I thought, well, let's do the basics here, and we're going to show you how to install a normal shaft adapter onto, well, a really nice shaft. So let's get started. Welcome back to the Golf Shop. Jim McCleary here, and this is where we talk about golf club repairs, golf club reviews, golf club fittings. Also, your scores can go low. If you would, like, subscribe, hit that stuff across the bottom. That way more of this stuff gets out to the YouTube universe. Now, we have a Ventus TR, which is the Tour 7X for a Mizuno friend of ours. He's part of the Mizuno group, and he likes the fact that I can do builds for him. And of course, we have a Mizuno tip. And he wants me to put it on. Now, there's some things that he wants me to do first. He wants me to tip it 1/2 of an inch. He wants me to install it in the upright position, which is kind of unique. And he wants it logo down. All right, so we're going to talk a lot about all of those different situations. So let's get started. We're going to go tip it off 1/2 an inch. You guys have seen me cut that before. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut it off, and then we're going to go to the bench and show you how this is going to work out. So let's go. You saw us measure it off, and we got the tip tipped, and now we have to make this fit onto here. As you can see, it only wants to go on a little bit, so we have to take a little bit more off. The removal of paint and whatnot from the tip has always been controversial in that how much do you take off, and you really just want to get past the paint in order to rough this up a little bit. But there's a significant amount of paint here. So we don't need to take off too much more, but we got to be very light-handed because this is a fresh belt. There we go. So now we got it so that it'll fit. It does very, very well. Now the other two requirements are to be logo down. So if we look, we have the Ventus here. We need to turn it over 90 or 180 degrees so it's going down. So you need to find a mark, and it appears that the end of what would be the raveling part of this design goes right here. Now, he wanted it in the upright position. So how do we make that happen? Well, if you have it in the head, if you were to put this in the head, the setting that you want always faces in the back where this arrow would be. That's typically true on basically all the different club heads. So if you want it to be high like this one is, or even back to standard, or even low, or even upright, this is where you would put it. So it sits in the back. So when we go to put that in the back, that means that we're going to align it with the logos to be logo down. So we're going to go, and it's going to look, so it actually becomes quite easy at this particular point, as if we have the logo, and then we have the tip reading upright, because this has a high, a standard, a low, and an upright setting. So we just put it in line with that, and then we should be in pretty good shape. So the next thing is we need to get some glue. And when we're working with the adapters, we don't need a ton. So a small squeeze from the 3M. So there's two kinds of glue. There's several kinds of glue, to be sure. There's 24-hour, there's 15-minute, there's several different types and cures of glue. And there's several manufacturers. The one that I used for the longest was Golfworks. And I've just recently, in the last year or two, converted over to 3M. And there's two kinds. There's an 810 DP Black, and there's a 420 DP black. The 420 is specifically made for golf clubs, where the 810 is what was very popular on tour because of the fact that it cures very, very rapidly. When it does that, that means that they can crank out and turn around and get any of the modifications done for their golfers and get it back out there and get it back in their hands. Now, it makes it easy. It's easy on, easy off with that kind of stuff, and it's also, you know, and in all honesty, it's actually a little cheaper than the 420. So if you like moving fast, that's the con of it, is you basically only get about 3 golf clubs done in a shot. All right, so we get a little bit on the shaft. We're going to put just a touch on the inside the adapter, and the idea here is to have it evenly distributed, not only along the shaft but inside the head. And with these grooves, sometimes those grooves will fill up at the very top and not get to the very bottom. That's getting better. Not quite there just yet. Have to throw a little bit more in there. Now what I'm going to also do to kind of help is you can put it back in the club head in the position that you want it to be. And well, we're going to line that here in a minute. I'm just using it to hold it so it's just easier to hold. Okay. So we can put it in the golf club head or hold it however you like. We want to wipe off all the excess because we don't want a ugly adapter. There we go. Now we got it. Alrighty, so let's put it in the head. We'll take it and make it go down. Alrighty, we're going to tap it down, make sure it's fully seated. There we go. Now that it's in the head, you can look at it and make sure that it's truly in line with the back end of the club. There we go. That looks a lot better. Alrighty, another tap for sure. We're going to make sure that we have no more glue coming out, and we don't. And then all we have to do is cut it to the length that he wants and put the grip on. So what we're going to do is let this sit for 24 hours before we go and do the rest of it so it doesn't move, and we'll finish it off. So just give me a little bit here.